Hello, YouTube Infinite Magicraid community. Gandalf here. Um, Funny thing here. Remember yesterday's video where I talked about how I really hope 95% of you are right? I was even part of the 95%. You can see I kind of hedged against myself where I said, hey, I'm going to bet on Louis, my opponent. I bet that my opponent will win me. I guess I lost my one miracle rune there, unfortunately. But the good news is, for the first time ever, I'm in top eight. I'm gonna get absolutely destroyed. But thank you for the 5% of you that have the confidence to vote for me and believe in the impossible. I don't think I'll win sick time. But sick time, if you're if you're watching there, you could just if you kindly could just throw this just so that the 5% of people that love me and really want to see me win actually get their miracle room, and we can spite the 95% of people together. Just throwing it out there. I don't think I'm going to win. I'm seriously not sure. It was a super close match, guys. It was super close. Again, just like last time where we saw a 13 versus 12, it was another 13 versus 12. But there are a couple impressive things that we see here. So for those of you who don't have a Lydia and want to think about a very tanky composition, this is what I actually run in Guild Arena. So we're going to do some Guild Arena content today. We're not going to go over all of these teams too much, but you can kind of see the results. This got me a 5-0 against all of his teams, despite the massive power difference. You'll be surprised how tanky this team is. Donald has 2 lives. Santa gives everyone an extra life. Donald does surprisingly well because we're going to be, if you don't run a Elec, um, that um, Nita is not going to be able to carry your team with just 1 round of AoE. Your Panda is going to be able to get the clear off. I mean, we can talk a little about builds too. Like, it's great if you can run on your Panda. You really should be running the legendary aura. However, I'm too poor for that. I'm still using a recovery aura. I really should be switching his aura over to the survival aura. Like, this is the aura really you want to run, but again, I am too poor to run that. So today, I thought we'd do a little bit different. I want to kind of showcase the One's Wish is in the top. I mean, yesterday my score was 28 out of 30 against One's Hope Middle Tower. I mean, we got 11 team. I kind of One's Hope, One's Wish is still relatively strong. Really strong second guild for the One's Hope community. Um, you can see here, I'm running the exact same 3 composition that I have in the championship. Um, you can see I actually made a mistake here when I watched my replay, my lineup edit. Um, One, I didn't have Lydia in this team composition. That was kind of actually, I guess that's by design a little bit, but in the hindsight, maybe it was required because that does boost the damage by quite a bit. Sorry, lineup edit. I put a Rona in here to just give me a bit of extra speed advantage, and I did not go red pill, nor did I go with um, Whistler into an auto attack. In hindsight, that was kind of a mistake. I was hoping for RNG and go for blue pill, just in case we faced Donald. Then I realized my opponent actually didn't have a Donald. And sorry, I don't know what I was thinking actually. I mean, Donald's not going to stop um, Mekio because Mekio can't be taunted or silenced. So I forgot to edit my lineup here. You can see that really what you want is you do need to set this up, and for Whistler, ideally you do something like this, right? Um, but that was kind of a mistake. Sick time is going to to trash me and send me back to where I belong. But better than Zone Klee or Lord Eric send me to the Shadow Realm. I don't want to see a 25-0. That would be very embarrassing. So sick time, end my miseries here, so I don't have to face a bigger embarrassment tomorrow. All right, let's do some showcasing of my team. I think probably should have recorded the video against One Hope yesterday, but One's Wish, I mean, still very strong opponents. I think they have a tower of 11, tower of 12. I want to just quickly showcase some of these teams and how effectively they work. You're welcome to copy these teams. I think in the current meta, this is probably as offensively strong as you can make it to do really well. Again, at this point, it's just improvement on stats. There are different variations for sure. I like this variation for a wide range of reasons. It gives me the flexibility that I like. Um, there are a couple of teams where I won't be able to beat raw due to raw speed stats. For example, this variation of the team where they have a bunny and a popper, I think is an improvement upon this team. I think where they forego the focus and put bunny here. Um, that way, basically, you have to completely outspeed both the bunny and popper, otherwise you won't be able to do it. Here I'm using Lydia to poke someone and then to go for the speed boost that way. Otherwise, it won't work well. So this is how we're going to do it. Again, this is a super versatile team, good against any control, good to actually shut out any Nita team that doesn't have a Elec in it. So let's go. Again, very good way of securing first turn. We always start with a poke. Because right now and this is true for Advanced Arena, right? I haven't talked about Advanced Arena yet in a while, but this was kind of how I normally would run this composition. I know I have a Ronai there. Against super tanky team, maybe you need the Lydia. Most times you actually don't. So here, if you ever see a Jack that has the revive, so it has a little W-ish icon. Make sure you leave like the enemy that you can afford to leave it to last. But normally this will be fine. Um, then here it's the typical uh, double Nita cleave, which will pretty much kill anything and everything if you can get the combo off. And finally, this one, um, a very reliable team. I'm pretty confident that I can just auto this. You have the solid CC, then you have the Donald cleave there. And often, even if Donald dies, you can, on defense, is great because you will kind of last for a really long time. And if they hit you hard enough but not enough to kill you, if you manage to charge up Hannah fully, you will be able to kill them. What this team does struggle against is against the mirror composition. Sometimes you don't do enough damage. What I'm contemplating right now is either use my next 100 crystals to get Donald to E5 or to just regress my O'Grady's. I'm still contemplating it. I'm thinking of getting Momolo. Momolo is definitely going to be a nice boost. So probably by the way, I don't have exclusive 3 Agatha yet, so that's something I do want to work on. So again, same idea. We won't bore you with all of the team here, but what I do plan to do is at least kind of show you the composition a little bit. So the Jules, if I remember correctly, again, super fast. His last team is very solid. Um, this team actually is weak against the double CC, so either running a Lydia with Ascendo. Ascendo is coming back into the meta, by the way, guys. It's actually really strong to pair with another CC like, and I talked about it yesterday. So if you haven't, check out one went over the PvP meta in the other section. Now, what I'm gonna hope to do here, this is gonna be interesting. So what I'm gonna hope I do here is because um, and this is the nice thing about running Elec, and I don't know if enough people know this trick because Elec is going to prevent Nita from getting CC'd. It's going to get transferred over the first CC. Now, as soon as somebody else goes on your team, your popper will be able to go. Unfortunately, I think their Nizel and Quinlan's gonna go. We'll see how this goes. Um, this composition does kind of create a little bit of problem for me because if they're running double CC, it's a little bit hard to deal with, um, as I'm gonna have to live through one of them. Do I have an alternative? I have to think real hard about this because there could be a solution, I think. I'm just thinking here because if I double poke his Ascendo, I can't remember how fast his Ascendo is though. I can't remember. Um, the other option I have, there's a couple of tricks with this team. I think for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to risk it. I think this is probably the most secure way. The worst come to worst is like a 2-3. But kind of want to showcase what happens here. So you can see both times, right? I effectively transferred a lot of stuff over to Alec, and we can see Alec can transfer at exclusive one, and it's important to have exclusive one, right? It can be triggered up to 3 times until the start of Alec's turn. Debuff received by the ally, so you can get 3 times. So that transferred over. Um, 1 HP burn, uh, 1 freeze over, and 1 freeze from Quinlan, right? So this is very good. It helps you survive drastically, and what's great is you can use this composition as long as you have a very fast Big Jack. And my Big Jack is 29-24. And as soon as my Big Jack goes, I'm going to be able to get Popper off. Um, and this will kind of allow me to just use this team against CC teams. So it's actually really, you got to be really careful because you can't use turn meter pushback. So as long as you have the faster Big Jack, you're fine. That is a very epic looking Andreas. Is that like a skin or something? Or is it because he has some sort of echo? Last stand. Okay, so that's what it has. Wow. That looks really cool, the graphics there. But again, we're gonna go with enough with that. We'll do the pop. On this, on my guild arena, I have the team all at least set up properly. So finally, this is actually a really strong team, believe it or not. Because I do he is in my zone. So, and if I'm not careful, things could go sideways very quickly. Um, I'm not sure why in this case. Maybe I didn't pay attention. Maybe the second silence from Ascendo hit, because ideally I would have liked to have used the CC there. Um, okay, let's get rid of some of the. Okay, they don't have the defense now. We can freeze. We're gonna try to get rid of the jack and okay, good. Now I think we can auto safely. Let's get rid of the Sendo next, then we get rid of the Lydia. Because the Sendo is actually really annoying. And Heng is going to do extra damage to Ascendo. Um, the imprison actually is very good against Heng because when Heng is in prison, she's not going to counterattack like crazy. Need to strip off all that damage. Um, one more turn before the big nuke, and you can see my Hela probably charged up plenty by now. Yeah, only not too full, but we're one more turn before the big nuke. We should be fine. Like sometimes if you're manually, you forget to distribute the Hela effect onto everybody, right? So that's why you're not charging up fast enough. So you need to make sure that thing goes on everyone. Oh, we're close. Okay, good. All right, so 3-0. So that kind of showcased the team a little bit in the thought process. We're going to try to find some interesting teams. This one I'm just going to skip. I mean, the power difference is very substantial, so pretty sure I'm okay skipping it. 3-0. The next one, it looks skippable. There is a Ronai. Um, do we want to risk it? I think there's not much to explain here, right? Skip. Um, if we see an interesting composition where we think we're going to have a harder time, okay, so this probably will be an interesting one to talk about. Um, like let's run it like this. Yeah, and the last team is strong enough to just take out whatever doesn't have enough DPS. So let's talk about what happens with this team composition against Lydia. So Lydia is gonna do imprison. So we got to be careful about this. I have combat vanguard on everybody, so I can do this as an option. Now you want to use the blue pill. Um, So here's really going to be careful. The mistake to make here is, oh, I'm going to go straight after. Okay, now that's assuming a Pumpkin actually had exclusive one. Attacking Nita will really screw you over because at that point in time, um, your Nita you will actually end up giving Nita the immunity. So why don't we just poke somebody else? If they have exclusive 3 Henla, don't hit Henla because Henla will just heal herself, which is not what you want. So probably Jack also has a lot of HP. Like there isn't exactly a good option, but I mean the opponent isn't that strong, unfortunately. So that just made it really easy. I feel like I'm just bullying people at this point. I kind of want to show that the versatility of this team. You normally want to set it up so that your Hello goes right before Donald, just so that you guys can get the nice strip into the AoE nuke. Okay, so we're done. Okay, maybe there will be. We'll go from bottom up. Maybe there's some we weren't. Maybe there's some interesting team. Like again, this team will be really good because again, you want your Elec to be faster than people's Donald for the most part. My Elec is 2360, so most Donald isn't that fast. You're going to be able to get the protection on it. So double cleave. Here we see the freeze. Again, because they don't have. I think it'll be interesting to just watch the fight and explain the mechanics of how each team works. Um, this is pretty much as close to meta as you can get. We'll talk about some of the top and other meta teams too. So you can see the target got transferred over to Elec there. Um, on the next one here, you can see pretty much I got CC'd, which means my panda will go. Their Nita is CC, so it won't double cleave. And then from here is just GG. Um, So again, now this is where you do want to poke whatever the fastest speed is. Again, probably a little bit of an overkill there. 2 million damage per uh, coming in from Mekio. Okay. Let's skip the rest. Let's skip the rest quickly. Sometimes I worry, right? Because you see, in a situation like this, you could have. Sometimes I'm afraid to skip. You know, and the reason why that is, there is a drawback of the second team because sometimes you really don't know who Whistler hits. Now, imagine if Whistler actually hit their Panda, then the Panda would have given everybody 10% turn meter, meaning their space, in theory, could go. In this case, you definitely want to make sure you're poking the space, not the Panda. So otherwise, you will run into that such. You will push, and then they will potentially get a turn first. The extra 10% turn meter might just turn things around. Okay. Yeah, just nasty. Um, my Donald, yeah, 33. Um, I think that Donald had the extra crit damage boost from my Hangula. Otherwise, it would not have my 330% crit damage. It only has like 260 or 270. It's because of all the boosts. So someone had a comment on my video saying, "Wow, your Donald's really well built." No, it's not. Really, it isn't. Um, Again, we'll show how the first team in theory should work really well. Now, if their Panda just happened to be enough speed where they get like 50% speed or something, like if it's just slightly slower, it could cause me a problem. Like this almost got to the limit there. Um, what will be really good as a solution is again, make sure your Nita is super slow, right? My Nita is like 1700-ish, just so that they can't get the 50% speed boost. Again, when you're faced with this, if pick the one with 30% boost. So here they clearly made it so their space is faster than Popper. That's a mistake. You should always make sure your Popper is the fastest on your team to get the full 30%. Poke. 3.5 million damage right there. 7.5 million. That's a little that's overkill, guys. Overkill. Um, of course, it's Guild Arena. We got a lot of extra attack on that. Mm, okay, we're almost done. I mean, nothing to be. I just didn't want to do another video on the on talking about the teams again in Advanced Arena, but I haven't done Guild Arena content in a while. Um, it's really not fair for me to be bullying most people. Mistakes were made. Okay, I think this is more than watch what happened, right? This is really more than watch what happened. I think I kind of know what happened here because we probably got the bull to really low, and then a counterattack. Let's watch it. At least this is interesting. See me screw up is always interesting, right? Okay, let's watch that again. Is it is it because they had a faster space than me? I think they had a faster space than me. I think that's what happened. 3032, 3031, guys. Come on. Come on. Really? Really? I mean, if we manual this, we would have, of course, poke space first. But seriously? Well, um, hope you guys enjoy that. All right. We'll just quickly go over the last two. We'll quickly skip it. Hopefully, no more surprises on that. We will go with this. Please, no more surprises. Good. We'll do one last one, and then we'll go take a look at our major Krakens compositions. And so you have another point of reference for for meta teams. Okay. I'm gonna just run this just to be safe because I don't want to be blowing up that popper by accident. So, anyways, there we go. Um, One person that I decided to skip, which made a mistake. If it was Mystic, I would have manued all my fights. Okay, let's take a look at our Kraken Tower and talk about meta compositions. So Mystic, if you guys are watching, um, I mean, we all run the same comp. If we look at your tower, it's pretty much the exact same composition. You look at ours, it's the same. Like I think both guild at the top of gameplay, we all know what we're doing. It's pretty much kind of knowing what the meta is, and these teams pretty much are very standard you see, but we do see slight variation of it. So again, my favorite guy, Kendachi, I love his variations on offense. Um, Super fast team. Like he's literally the fastest guy I know, maybe after Bailey. Um, but this is probably like, I don't know, 3,300, 3,400 popper in there. Um, what I worry about this is because they don't have a big tower buff. I sometimes worry that if he's going to be able to do enough damage. But of course, Ronai is going to do a poison blow, a poison before the Nita goes. So Nita is going to have, I think Ronai leaves layers of poison, right? Yeah. There is three stages of poison, but it doesn't actually leave poison on the target. Yeah, so it gets enfeebleness, but there increased direct damage, but there's no poison left. So maybe the Ronai will do enough damage to offset it. Maybe. So he's not running a focus, but if you have the tower, um, that's one of the challenge we face. So normally what we see here is um, like when they run these compositions. So Paley, Band, they're all running the exact same composition. This is very meta. This is basically trading trading your focus for a faster popper and to go ahead of your opponent. The downside though is, I mean, your jack it's still about the faster jack. So, but if your popper goes before the other one, your Ronai should be fast enough to be able to push theirs back one more time, or actually do a speed up. So, but either way, right? It's about who has the faster big jack, honestly, because after all of that, their big jack is not going to be affected by turn meter. Your big jack is not going to be affected by turn meter. So for both of these compositions, I want to make sure the viewers understand that it actually all comes down to Big Jack because your Nita is not going to be faster than the other person. So if the other person end up having a faster Big Jack than yours, this composition is not going to work. So invest all of your speed into Big Jack. Like people who run 3K, 3.1, 3.2K jacks, they're the ones that are going to end up going first, right? Because Popper is not going to reduce it. So once it's Big Jack's turn, Big Jack is going to go, and that Nita is going to go. So it's all on the Big Jack. Okay. Um, you can see we pretty much copy all the compositions. Panda decided to go for the bunny variation, and I like the bunny variation because the bunny variation gives Nita a second turn. Um, and if they do, for example, use the Lydia poke method to say poke your popper, as long as you have a fast bunny, your bunny's going to go twice, and then your popper's going to go again, so it doesn't matter. So this is actually a very good variation of that. The last time here, again, you can see Captain Chaos, exact same composition. You guys can see here. Um, where's the Lydia and Bailey's team? Where's the Lydia? I just realized. Where is this Lydia? He's so good that he's not even using Lydia anymore. Wow. But you can see this is a very good variation. But we have seen a few different ones, right? Now, a very common counter to kill this team is to use the second team here. And this is where I worry that without focus, is it enough to kill this tanky team? I don't know, right? Like this is a very tanky team. This is exactly what I run as well. You saw in my video. Um, and I run this, but without the Nuna tech. It's just Lydia in the spot. So very similar composition you guys see. So top meta, this is what the top team see. You see, this is what you see in Advanced Arena. This is what you see in Guild Battle. These are the top heroes. You will see the exact same three teams in championship as well. Then you will see two other teams being built where they're kind of flex right now. You can see everyone's pretty much running the same team. If they don't run the panda, they're going to put the panda somewhere else. So this gives us an option where Brynhild and Agatha sometimes, usually with Ben Austin, form the fourth staple team, usually with a E3 Agatha. This is a very solid composition. It was old meta, but we see it in BT and True's team with a slight variation to use Bunny uh, instead of instead of instead of Ben Austin. Sorry, a very good opportunity to make Agatha go twice. Really good combo there. Um, Captain Chaos. Um, is opted to use the Mechio variation. So really, I think we see in the meta really four teams, right? And what's really nice, okay, is Agatha is actually a good counter to Ronai because Agatha is going to steal all of the or a lot of those a lot of those heal buffs so that Agatha and they won't be able to benefit from that. Furthermore, Agatha, the E3 is going to allow you to do one revive. Agatha is not going to die to one round of Nita. Usually, it doesn't, especially if you have like a Nordak with it. So very good um, kind of pick tech option to go against the meta. So hopefully this analysis is helpful. If you want to compete at the top, you know which guilds you're looking at. Again, we have the most seasoned players. Again, we're down to back in the championship, looking at the top four. Congratulations to Massive Dawn representing One Hope in the championship. Good luck to everyone. I'm out for the running. Count me out. And we will see who makes it to the final round and become the champion of this season. Take care, everyone. Gandalf out.